Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 22 with me, Dan, and the BMW Slothz team. Joining me this week is a cold as well. I've just been very unlucky this month when it comes to illnesses and other things. So you're going to have to put up with me sounding like shit. Anyway, we get off to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix with a little bit of a dilemma to handle here with the marketing department. Something was said in an interview with Carlos Sainz. We're going to deny the claims. Not sure what that's going to do, and continue on. We just got Pit Crew Spec 2 there coming through as part of our upgrade packages as well. That should hopefully reduce the risk of all of these errors that we keep getting every time we come into the pit lane. But there is no guarantees, of course. We're still just hoping. One season break later, which literally lasts 3 days, and we're into May, and the repercussions of the marketing event are that the team claim has gone down. Apparently that has upset all of the fans and all of the sponsors, so we lose a little bit of a claim there, but it's not the end of the world because we're not really too worried about money anymore. Given that we changed up all the settings. Anyway, into the R&D screen, we'll pick up another brake upgrade because we're lagging behind in that area at the moment, and then continue on. We fail another R&D upgrade for durability because I'm running out of things to actually spend my points on now, so I may as well put them into reliability. It might actually help Carlos Sainz do well in this championship if his car doesn't break down constantly. And we finally get that same reliability upgrade, and we get over to the Grand Prix for some practice sessions. Kick it off in P1. We will, of course, be going for as many points as we can here, and going for the 100% ones is always a good idea just to get them out of the way first. Unfortunately, due to the fact that we haven't really been buying any reliability upgrades of the resource points, it seems that most of the discount options are going to be in reliability. So prepare for that as we approach the midway point in the second half of the season. And as I finish off all of the remaining upgrades, let's get this one out of the way now. That's 90 points there. Nice volume adjustment going on there, which I didn't realise would actually show up on the screen. Another 70% chance one succeeds, and another 90 points, and then we've got this difficult decision. We go for the rear downforce, which we do get, and then that will more than likely conclude P2. And over to P3 now for the final attempt. There we go, we get the final resource points, and then it's a toss-up between... There's some tyre wear upgrades in there. We've got the gearbox. We're going to go for that one. Not that that's necessary because we'll be replacing our entire power unit for this Grand Prix. But I think that that will get us to the end of the season. Second attempt, we get the gearbox discount. And then it's a toss-up. What do we want from the rest of it? It's not looking good, but we'll go for this MG UK discount, which we do get at 50% chance. And now, of course, it's onto the race. But not before we have a look at some more R&D points and start off our next couple of upgrades. There we go. Well then, it's down to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which of all of the circuits on the calendar, apart from perhaps Austria, is one of the circuits they struggle at the most with the handling model on the F1 22 game compared to 21. I don't know what it is about this circuit, but I just cannot find pace anywhere, which you'd have thought would have been pretty easy for a circuit which is just 90-degree corners and straights. Anyway, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you know when the next races are uploaded, including Austria, which will be coming next week now. And we'll get on with the starting grid for today's race if we stop panning shots around the empty street circuit, and then we'll actually get to see where everyone's starting. And there we go. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll be starting at the back with a penalty, but on the front row it will be Lando Norris, heading up alongside teammate Fernando Alonso in the McLarens going into turn 1, followed by Sergio Perez, our teammate Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon and Lewis Hamilton. Then we have Lance Stroll alongside Kevin Magnussen, Yuki Tsunoda and Alex Albon. Behind there we have Oscar Piastri and Dan Ticktum, then Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc. Behind them we have in P15 Max Verstappen with a penalty, Théo Pourchaire, Zhou Guanyu, Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, George Russell starting way back, Robert Schwartzman, and of course it's me. And although someone in the background does say let's go down to the track, we're not going to. Right then, it's down to the circuit now for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we're away. There's Carlos Sainz losing out to Esteban Ocon at the start, and we'll take it cautiously into the back there as we get attacked by George Russell into turn 1. Robert Schwartzman fighting away in the Audi, but we are past him quite convincingly, and take on Mick Schumacher in the Aston Martin, actually getting squeezed to the inside a little bit there, which caused us to not have a great exit from the corner. Russell trying to take on our former teammate Théo Pourchaire. We make a lunge down the inside. Russell takes it around the outside, manages to hold position, but we go down the inside on the second turn. Side by side now with the Mercedes as we come down towards the next chicane. Russell has plenty of room, but we have the better line there to close him off. But a snap of oversteer keeps him just about within striking distance, but we managed to block him off behind Théo Pourchaire and hold position in P19 as we make our way up the field. Théo Pourchaire, our former teammate in the Audi, now running the hard tyre for some reason, clearly going for a longer run into this race to see if he can maximise distance on the hard tyre and then go for a soft sprint at the end. I'm not convinced that will work very well, given that the Alfa Romeo or the Audi isn't the fastest car on the grid by any stretch, and neither is Théo Pourchaire, so it's unclear how that strategy is going to go. But we come around onto the back straight now, right up to the back of the Audi, pull out round and can very convincingly get past our former teammate and leave him the fight with George Russell behind him. 3 German car manufacturers all in a row there, probably the first and last time that we're going to see that during this season. Up ahead, Nicholas Latifi in the Jaffa Cake Williams, what is pretty convincingly the second fastest Jaffa Cake in the world, considering that Alex Albon is still in this race. Just a few positions up the road. We go round the outside of Latifi. He is going to fight it, but eventually has to give the place up. Zhou Guanyu up next. There's Verstappen and Leclerc, who are still trying to fight their way through the field after taking some penalties. And we rejoin at the end of lap 2. What will be an extremely convincing overtake here. We've managed to get it. We don't have DRS yet because we're not on lap 3, and we're already past the Aston Martin up into P16, now following the Ferrari and the Red Bull Porsche as they try and recover back up to the top of the grid. And George Russell finally gets past Théo Pourchaire as well. Onto the first DRS straight now. We've got a yellow flag up ahead already. Someone appears to have come to a stop at turn 3, I think, but I don't think they're the issue. But oh no, it's Alex Albon has cooked his engine, making him the second fastest Jaffa Cake in the world, behind Nicholas Latifi. Now, if Nicholas Latifi does finish this race, then he will take that title and keep it forever, presumably. Max Verstappen defends quite nicely there as we try to get past the wreckage of Albon, pulling off to the side of the track. So we'll have to do this in a much more conventional style. DRS open. No, we actually bail into the pit lane here for our one and only stop for this race. Starting on the soft tyre, of course, on these 25% distance races does mean that you come in significantly early. I think with some tyre wear upgrades, I should be able to push that to another 2 or 3 laps out there on the softer tyre before I need to come in. But for the time being, as we get released dangerously into the path of Pierre Gasly, we'll be sticking for this 5 laps stint on the softs and then mediums to the end. We rejoin on lap 7. Dan Tickton up ahead. An aggressive Mercedes driver. Somehow has not scored a single point all season, despite being in one of the top cars on the grid. We go to the outside with the DRS open, and amazingly, Dan Tickton does not decide to attack us. We set the fastest lap as we join up to the back of the Haas of Oscar Piastri, and that will take some beating because our straight line speed, as it was back in Season 2, is monstrously fast down the straights with the right setup, and it's no exception here today. Can we make a move on Piastri into turn 3? Not looking convincing, so we'll be sitting behind him until now, the end of lap 8. Into the final couple of corners we go, and following him down towards the DRS zone. Up ahead of him is his teammate Kevin Magnussen. He's following Yuki Tsunoda, and then an Alpine, and then our teammate. So we've actually managed to catch up quite nicely. Past Piastri, very easy. Down into turn 1 we go. The racing line not being any help whatsoever as we try to find a braking zone, just picking one at random. But we managed to get one that was just about right. Can we make a move on Magnussen now as we come down towards turn 2? We've managed to start reeling him in towards the braking zone, but we run out of track before we hit the brakes, and we'll have to sit behind him for another lap. Much the same as we did with Oscar Piastri, but we rejoin on the DRS. We're already gaining massively before we've even opened the flap on the rear wing. There goes Magnussen. He goes to the left. We go to the right and get the position. Yuki Tsunoda up ahead. What can we do here against the Japanese driver? He's going very slow into turn 1 of those hard tyres, and he will be suffering here. We're going to get him on the next straight, bailing out of it as he pulled across in front of us. I don't want to get on that curb into turn 1. It can be pretty lethal there. To the outside we go. Yuki Tsunoda weaving all over the place here as we head down towards turn 3, but we run it over the curb and we get the position away from the Japanese driver. Nicely done there from us. And we rejoin on the final lap now, lap 13. It's not been able to catch up to Lance Stroll, but we have managed to clear Yuki Tsunoda quite significantly. Partially that will be because of his hard tyres, but in addition to that, as I mentioned at the start of this video, we're just not very quick around this circuit, and I think it's a me problem as opposed to the car problem, because Carlos Sainz, he is up into P5. Somehow he's behind Esteban Ocon and out of DRS range. I'm not sure how he managed that, but then again, Ocon did get in front of him at the start of the race. As for me, though, sliding all over the place, that will not have helped our lap time. In fact, that is part of the reason why I'm 3 seconds off the back of Lance Stroll. But and as is that massive lock up there into the approach of the castle section. I have a feeling the setup that we're using was either overheating the tyres or it's just down to player skill. Although these are pretty simple corners, and this bit is just flat out, it is tricky to get a good lap time here, I find. Especially since some of these curbs are so brutal. I avoid them at all costs if I can. You see the bump in that one there. Imagine going over that on the inside line. It is not fun. I expect if you're an F1 esports driver, though, it doesn't really matter. You can just cheat. But not on this channel. We're not competing against anybody besides the AI. But we come down towards the finish line, and we're going to cross the line with a massive accident there. Surprisingly, nothing fell off the car. We're going to park it right in front of the grandstand for the crowd to enjoy a lovely picture as everyone goes steaming past at 1,000 miles an hour, and we get driver of the day, which is absolutely Excellent. But it's all about McLaren again today. We'll see which one of them actually managed to finish first. It's Fernando Alonso yet again finishing on the top step of the podium. Looks like Sergio Perez is up there as well. Great job. And Lando Norris was the P2 driver then, it would seem. So there we go. Fernando Alonso, still a championship winning threat. We'll have a look at the leaderboards in just a second, and we'll see where that puts him after race 5. So here we are with the full race results. Fernando Alonso, Lando Norris and Sergio Perez make up the podium today, followed by Esteban Ocon, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, Lance Stroll, Radiant Slothz, Yuki Tsunoda and Kevin Magnussen. Over to the Drivers' Championship, Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso both jump above Max Verstappen and me, taking first and second. Then we're followed by Lance Stroll, Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon and Carlos Sainz. Further down the order, we have the first Mercedes, George Russell, followed by Yuki Tsunoda, Pierre Gasly, Kevin Magnussen, Dan Ticktum, Oscar Piastri, Alex Albon, Teo Pourchaire, Robert Schwartzman, Joe Guan Yu, Mick Schumacher, and Nicholas Latifi. And all remains the same in the Constructors' Championship, with McLaren extending their lead ahead of Red Bull at the top of the championship, followed by BMW, Slothz, Ferrari, Alpine, Mercedes, AlphaTauri, Haas, Williams, Audi, and Aston Martin. That's all for now. We'll catch you next time for Canada.